Hi, I'm Amber Kwan, a professional dog trainer here in Fort Collins. Welcome to this fourth and final video of our mini-series about recreating in City of Fort Collins natural areas with your dog. This video is all going to be about the safety precautions that you and your dog should take when visiting natural areas together. Did you know that plants, animals, and weather can all be safety concerns for you and your dog out on the trail? Don't worry, we're going to be going over each of these and how you and your dog can prepare so that your visit can be worry-free. Okay, let's start with plants that you should look out for on the trail. Foxtails are the long, barbed seeds growing at the top of stalks in grassy fields and meadows. If you've taken your dog for a walk through tall grass before, you've probably already encountered these. The seeds attach to a dog's fur, often in their ears or their toes, and burrow their way in. This can be dangerous for your dog, as the seeds can work their way into your dog's skin and cause infection. To keep this from happening, stay on trail with your pup and always check their eyes, ears, nose, and paws for foxtails, especially if they've gone through high grass. Running a brush through your dog's coat is a good idea too. Cacti like prickly pear are common in natural areas. Dogs that go off trail may encounter and step on these spiky hazards. If your dog has only a few cacti spines in its fur, you may be able to remove them yourself with a pair of tweezers. A more severe run-in with cactus may require a vet visit, so it's always best to be aware and avoid encounters with cactus entirely. Okay, let's move on to animal hazards. The most common and dangerous of these are rattlesnakes. Many natural areas are home to rattlesnakes, which are an important part of keeping the ecosystem healthy. In hot weather, snakes will rest in shady spaces. Look carefully before stepping over or resting underneath rocks or logs in order to avoid them. On cooler days, it's not uncommon to see snakes basking on top of a rock or in the middle of the trail. Be alert and stay in the center of the trail to avoid snakes on the side. If you see a snake, back away calmly and slowly with your dog. If the snake doesn't notice you, you can remain still and quiet and wait for it to move off the trail. This is where the sit and wait and look at distraction skills really come in handy. If the unthinkable happens and your dog is bitten by a rattlesnake, do the following things. Remove your dog from the situation. Carry your dog back to the parking lot if possible, or if you can't carry them, walk calmly and slowly with them. Get your dog to an emergency veterinarian as soon as possible. Call ahead to make sure they have the antivenom on hand. It's also a good idea to check with your vet for a current list of places that carry antivenom before you go out for your hike. The next animal hazard to be aware of is ticks. Ticks are small, hard to see, and tend to hide in the grass, ready to latch on to passing humans and dogs. Anytime you complete an outdoor adventure, make sure to check both yourself and your canine friend for ticks. If you do find one, gently remove it by pulling it out with tweezers using gentle, steady pressure. Some ticks found in Colorado can carry diseases, and you can reduce exposure by walking in the middle of the trail. Some medications for dogs can also help prevent ticks, so be sure to ask your veterinarian about this. Another potential hazard related to wildlife are birds of prey. Many of us love watching birds soar through the skies across the natural areas, but we need to be aware that these can cause hazards for some of our canine friends, especially those on the smaller side. Birds of prey often feed on rodents and other small animals. If your dog is very small, perhaps only a few pounds, keep a watchful eye out in case birds of prey are active. The good news is that if you're following the bark principle A and your dog is always wearing a leash, then it is close enough to you that you never have to worry about this hazard. Finally, another common hazard that you might encounter in the natural area would be a prairie dog. Even though prairie dogs seem cute, it is not safe for your dog or the prairie dog for them to interact with each other. Remember, prairie dogs are rodents and carry diseases that can be easily transmitted to domestic dogs. What's more, if your dog chases prairie dogs whose homes are along the trail, they are causing great disruption to the prairie dog community. Best to always keep your dog on a leash and give prairie dog burrows a wide berth. Besides prepping for wildlife encounters along the trail, it's also a good idea to check weather conditions each and every time you plan to visit a natural area with your dog. Each season can bring a unique set of challenges and safety precautions that we should take in order to keep ourselves and our dogs safe while out on the trail together. Let's begin with summer. High temperatures and lack of shade on popular natural area trails means we need to take extra care that our dogs don't overheat. Pack lots of water, take breaks, and hike during the morning or evening hours to avoid the hottest part of the day. Also in summer, water conditions can become unsafe for your dog due to algal blooms. These blooms or growths are natural, and if concentrated enough, can be extremely toxic or even deadly to your pet. To be safe, avoid letting your dog come into contact with water in lakes and ponds during the summer. Pack plenty of water for them to drink instead. In winter, make sure that your dog stays warm and comfortable on their hike, just like we do. If you are hiking in the snow, watch out for ice balls forming between your dog's toes. This can cause a lot of pain and discomfort and is something we want to remove as soon as we notice them. Also in winter, watch out for ice on ponds that isn't strong enough to safely support your dog. To be safest, we recommend staying off frozen water entirely and sticking to solid trails. Finally, the success of your visit to a Fort Collins natural area with your dog depends on bringing the right gear. Let's go through each item that you should bring along when you visit a natural area. First, pack some treats. Remember, your dog doesn't work for free, so having treats is a great way to reinforce their good behavior and strengthen your bond. A leash and collar with ID tags. Of course, you should always have your dog on a leash in a natural area, following Bark Principle A. Natural areas can be hot and many don't have accessible water for dogs, so always bring a water dish and extra water for your pup. Of course, you want to bring poop bags to follow Bark Principle B, bag your dog's waste. Many natural areas where you can take dogs will have some for you to use, but that's never a guarantee, so it's always safest to bring your own. Finally, always pack a first aid kit. On shorter hikes, you may leave this in your car, but it's always good to have on hand. Thanks everyone for joining us for this Trail Savvy Dog video series. Over the course of these videos, we've learned about trail regulations, where you can go, trail safety and manners, how to keep your dog safe, and what you should pack along on your adventures. We hope that you've learned something new and are ready to have fun and hit the trail with your dog.